Welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. My name is Ian Ray. I'm your host today. And today I have my Filipino brother, Neil Dacanay, here all the way from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada.
I think you might be recording.
So welcome, Neil.
For me. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
we could just start it straight. Okay. Because I can see when things are flowing. Okay.
Got you cut off. Okay. But Neil is all from Oshawa, Ontario. He's a musician, a singer, also a registered massage therapist, a fascial stretch therapy practitioner, RMT for about 2 years, and just recently took a course with me up in Burlington, Ontario, to become an FST practitioner. So Neil, welcome to the Stretch to Go podcast. Hello. Hello.
I must have cut out.
Oh no. That's like a minute.
I was like, maybe this time I won't say anything.
Yo. Okay, hold on. Man, this is tripping me out. All right.
That's very funny.
Let's see how this goes. I'm sure it'll smooth out. All right, so Neil, tell me, give me a little background of your career, how you got into as an RMT and in the FST. But first, RMT, go ahead.
Okay, so RMT, I have two really good friends who also decided to become RMTs way before I decided that this was something that I would even consider. We all went to Calgary for a friend trip, and we were like, okay, we're going to do this. And it was about July 8th. I think that was a Friday. We went to Stampede, and their local massage college was having an outreach for their students. I decided, you know what? I'll get in line, see what the hype is about massage, even though I just had some experience from these two friends. I get a chair massage, and while I'm getting this massage, I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. This is an outreach. They do have stalls where you can sign up to apply for their program. And this was in Alberta. Like, okay, like, I'll get some information because I'm actually really interested in doing this. Mind you, I do have a background in kinesiology where I graduated back in 2017, and I did nothing with it for about 4 years until the Stampede, and this was in 2021. So 2021, Calgary Stampede, I'm standing in line to get information on how to apply to become a massage therapist. My friend, she sees me in line and she pulls me out. She's like, we're not gonna let you sign up here. We're gonna find you something close. So I ended up going to school for massage at Sutherland Chan in Toronto, which I did end up commuting back and forth from Oshawa. That was a whole thing. And I started my first day, September 28th. So September 28th, July 8th. That's quite a small gap between me deciding to start massage. And before that, I was working full time at Best Buy as a product process leader. So quite a big shift.
Yeah, dude. How long was your commute from Oshawa to your school?
So on the best days, maybe about 50 minutes. And on the worst days, like upwards of an hour and 45.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you'd have to wake up early pretty much and get home late, or?
Yeah, I had to be out of the house by 7:30, just to make sure that I made the 9 o'clock starts. Yeah.
Dang. I'm not sure where Oshawa is. Can you tell me like where geographically? Like Toronto, Montreal, not Montreal, sorry. I'm really bad.
I mean, Montreal's about 5-ish hours east of Oshawa, and Oshawa is a little bit about 30 minutes out from Toronto, more specifically like Scarborough area. So
Okay.
if we're thinking like downtown Toronto, Yeah, about an hour out east.
East. Okay. Ah, okay. So you're going towards like more Nova Scotia area?
Mm-hmm. Uh, Closer to
Or
Nova
no?
Scotia, but very close to Toronto.
Okay. Man, see, I've only been to Canada, but this past summer was my first time, so I'm still getting to know Canada. And there's so much to learn about Canadians and Canadian culture. So sorry
Yeah,
if I sound like a
no,
ignorant American.
not at all. When you're back, just let me know, and then we'll get something going.
All right, deal. Let's do it. So okay, so your RMT, you went to the Stampede, you did your course, took you 2 years, but how did you get into FST, the fascia stretch?
Yeah, FST, one of my classmates, there was a bridge program that we had at Southern Shan where if you have a sort of background in physical health or kinesiology, um, it could help you sort of fast track your way through the program. And one of my classmates there actually is a fascial stretch therapist level 2. So, Jose, this is for you, and we'll we'll get your handles later on. Um, and he told us that like that's what he does, as well as being a personal trainer. So I was like, okay, this is cool. He did a little bit of a demonstration on us, and I didn't think any of it before, since I was like, okay, massage. This is what I'm going to focus on.
Mhm.
I'm going to learn how to heal through my hands. Um, we fast forward to the end of graduation. I'm already a year into being a massage therapist, and I'm thinking about, you know, sort of like side grade upgrading my license, so that I can do more for my patients. Um, I Sometimes it gets a little bit stale, and I wanted to incorporate something new into my practice. And within the clinic that I work at and work out through Oshawa, my clinic director, and I'd like to call him a friend, since we both went to the same program for
Okay.
university, just a couple years older. He was really encouraging me to also upgrade and side grade just to, give myself a little bit of an edge. And I'm like, yeah, this is something that I've been thinking about. And when I saw that fascial stretch therapy was coming to Toronto or like Burlington, I had to jump. It was it was a great opportunity. When I looked at the at how many spots were left, and I don't know if this is like a gimmick, but it was like there are only 6 spots left, and I'm like, oh, I don't even know how big the classes are, but I now. So I got in, and I was like, okay, like maybe it's like 12 people in a class, but like we had a huge turnout, like 40.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
wow,
mean, there was at least 8 groups or something, 8 or 9, 8 groups at least of what, 6 people at least,
yeah,
6 people in each group. So yeah, that was quite a big class, I'd say.
yeah, and that was so much fun. We had the modules and everything, and I'm like, okay, sweet, like things that are being said, I understand. Um, Nothing felt new to me. It more felt like, here's the application of the things that you learned, and here's how you can piece them all together. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I'm not so confused. The course itself, oh, I mean, and you could probably attest to this. It was an amazing course. I had so much fun learning how to, personalize my touch and work with different kinds of bodies, more so than I really get in a day when I'm just, doing assessment and then doing what I think is appropriate. More,
Mhm.
this was a lot more structured. Like here's what we're gonna run through, and this is what you can maybe use them for. So yeah, that's how I got into FST, and I'm really glad. Jose, thank you again for reinforcing that this is a good idea for me to do, because I did end up asking him like, hey, these are the guys who you studied with, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, awesome, sweet. So would you recommend this? And he goes, absolutely. Uh, yeah, that's all it took.
So you had no hesitancy when you're applying for the Stretch to Win for this course, or did you have some doubts, or were you kind of already affirmed because of Jose saying, "Oh, this is great"?
I think the only thing that I was kind of like a little bit worried was that I do as a lot of us do, we kind of like lose income for the week that we're there, and I was like, okay, so like, how am I gonna make this back up? And then we have a conversation about about how, because of the value of FST, it's not really much of like a how much do you make, but more like, this is so valuable and you got a really good return for it as well. So it's, I don't want to say lucrative, because I don't want to say that this is like a business, but really when it comes down to, especially the verbatim after I've been working with my patients using FST, it's been a game changer.
And so your typical demographics or the population that you're working with doing FST, like what are they?
A typical demographic is young adults to older adults that I would typically treat. I don't think I've used FST, at least the stretch portion of it, for like children, but I will incorporate PNF a lot more, or I have creating PNF a lot more now than I have previously. So that's something that I also do with them to just help them, get stronger in their end ranges of motion.
So do they come from all walks of life? Like, are they, just your everyday person working at a job, or are they like construction workers, nurses? They do play sports. I mean, the people that come through to do your FSTs, yeah.
Oh yeah, so like all walks of life. I work with teachers. I work with nurses, people who work in construction. We have a lot of government people who come through as well. So a lot of desk workers, a lot of people who are on their feet all day, and then every so often I'll get the weekend warrior, and it's really nice to be like, yeah, you're tight here.
You definitely need this.
Yes.
That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like that's the first thing, especially like doing assessment, and then when I do, a straight leg for hamstring, I'm like, oh yeah, this is definitely super tight. This is what you need. Like, I love that, because I know, like, for sure we can definitely improve, and they're gonna feel it because just how tight they are, limited. So to me, FSD has been awesome for the clients, because they can feel it when they hop off the table and saying, wow, I can't do that by myself. I'm like, yeah, obviously you can't, because that's why I'm here to kind of coach you along, push you past your limits, because you can stretch by yourself, but there's just something about mentally that you can't physically do things without assistance from us, because we know it, we can feel it. So it's amazing, man. So when you have your clients coming through at your place of work, how are you including FST with them? Is this like an additional service? Do they know? Do you offer them FST along with your massage, or how does that go?
With depending on my clients, normally if I have a massage booked, then I will go through a massage, and depending on through the intake, I might think that, okay, maybe we can incorporate some FST here at the beginning or even at the end of the treatment. I'm still trying to get a bearing of when before or after is better for the patient, but typically I would prefer to do it after. I would just have to be mindful of my gel or oil usage, or bring extra towels just so we can make sure that we have good contact. With the majority of my patients, I have been incorporating FST into the massage, but I also do have a separate FST schedule, which my clients can also book in separately, so that I'm prepared and that they're prepared with the appropriate clothing. to I guess get stretched.
Do you have any success stories that you've had since you started incorporating FST with your clients, or any wins that you've had?
Oh yes. So I had this one client. I have several that I can think of off the cuff. But he's been having some shoulder irritation and hip irritation. I'm like, hey, that's what we learned. And he came into a massage, and I told him that I also do fascial stretch therapy. And he was like, yeah, I've done a lot of massage. And I was sort of hoping that I would actually get somebody who would stretch me out. So I'm like, okay, that's perfect. So we ran through an FST session instead of the massage. Well, instead of the full massage, we just focused on FST. And after that, he felt amazing. He was like, I feel like when booking with you today, I was really hoping that I would be stretched this way, and you did that for me. His shoulder felt amazing. His hips felt so much looser, and they were really, really tight. Like those hips were tighter than any of the hips that we worked on that week. And they started moving better, and he felt more connected to his body. Well, suffice to say, we're still working with him, and we're still improving that range of motion, and he's been feeling better than ever.
Do you feel you work more on hips, shoulders? What parts of the bodies have you noticed when you're stretching that people are coming in with tightness or irritation?
Oh yeah, definitely like lateral hip.
Okay.
One. Also, like when it comes to shoulders, I do have another client who did come with an irritated glenohumeral joint as well as a shoulder girdle, and which is also the other success story. And he was like, I've never felt my shoulder feel this relaxed in years. So that to me told me that, like, okay, FST is actually perfect for this situation, rather than digging into my tissue and breaking it down and then stretching. We could actually just focus on getting that connection back to the mind muscle and go from there.
Awesome, man. I think it is amazing to see, like, especially because I'm not an RMT. I mean, maybe I should pick up. I think it'll be a great tool for me to learn more about the body, and especially the hands-on experience. Because I've only worked in physical therapy, but yeah, I guess for you as RMT, you know how the body moves, where they're feeling those tightness. But for me, as coming as a PT guy, I don't really do much hands-on putting on the clients. I really had to learn this on the spot as I continue to stretch people, and so I'm hoping to hear more stories from you, dude, like of your success stories. So that's awesome.
Yeah, totally. Like, and being a PT, that doesn't mean that you can't be an RMT. Like take Jose for example. That's exactly what he was. He did FST, he was PT, and then he became an RMT, and he's found a lot of success in Toronto, where a lot of the people find success in Toronto, but I'm here in Oshawa, so.
Do you ever, when you're explaining fascia to someone, the word fascia, how do you explain it to them? Can you give me an analogy for the audience, what
Yeah.
your definition of fascia?
I'm not going to say that I didn't hear the cling wrap analogy and like didn't like it, because I really like it and I do use it sometimes. It's a very, very good analogy. I just describe it for what it is. It's just the connective tissue that connects the entire body and holds up all the organs to where they need to be. You'll find it between your skin and your muscles, and if you think about your visceral organs over here, that stuff all fascia. If you didn't have it there, all of your organs would just flop down, and it would be a total dumpster fire.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Wow. Now that you put that into perspective.
You're like, you know what?
Very, very graphic, but so true. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Uh,
in the clinical setting, that's not what I say, but at least the last part. But yeah.
um, I guess what would you say to that one person? I know you probably didn't mention someone who is looking to do fascial stretch therapy, or better yet, stretch doing institute. What advice would you give to someone who's on the fence about enrolling?
Um, so it wasn't something that was difficult for me to make the decision for, and I'm glad that I didn't think twice about it, because when I went into the course, met met with the instructors and was given that positive reinforcement. It just felt like I was having fun, and the learning just sort of happened as a side effect. So
Mhm.
if you're looking to improve your hands-on, your palpation skills, and work with a broader population, people, and just working with them with their bodies to help them improve their own health. I think that fascial stretch is something that is definitely something that you shouldn't worry about. just go for it. I went for it with that sort of attitude, and I'm doing fascial stretch multiple times every week, and I'm loving it. It's a nice change of pace from just massage. I get to do massage, FST, massage, and FST. If that makes any sense.
You have very it varies throughout your days as far as what you can do with clients, right? And are they like mostly at 30-minute sessions, 60-minute sessions, or how are they played in with the
So
FSC?
with FST, I do have them in 60-minute sessions. So I do the hour. Some if I don't bill it as FST massage, I'm in for just a massage, uh, as well as I think that FST is something that will help them. I do it for about half the treatment, and then
Hmm.
move to massage, or we start with massage, then we move to FST.
And then when you have new clients coming in, when you're doing your assessment, do you offer them straight away massage or FST, or how does that work when new clients? Because I'm sure you have new clients coming in. How do you determine whether or not they need one or the other, or both?
Yeah, absolutely. So depending on the way that it's booked, we have a great clinical manager, who helps sort out what a patient might need. Then they get the first opportunity to engage with the clients, being like, hey, perhaps you might be interested in getting fascial stretch therapy, and we have this amazing fascial stretch therapist who also who is a therapist and does FST. Did you want to book with FST with him or massage? And then we'll do that. However, there have been some times where like some of the new clients will come in for FST, and they're like, yeah, like I was told about this, um, and when we finish the assessment and the initial interview with them, I'm like, perhaps massage might actually be better for you, just because it's like high muscle tone here, my high muscle tone in the back, and I'm like, okay, some things that I would normally do for massage, I would just stick with massage. Other times they would be looking for massage, and I would say, hey, I do fascial stretch therapy. It's this. Would you consider doing some of that today? And I don't think I've ever received a no for an answer for fascial stretch. Because a lot of the times, those same patients are patients who have had massage many times before, who have had chiropractic work as well as physiotherapy. And when I hear that, that's sort of my cue to be like, okay, you've tried a lot of things. You're still where you are, uh, and we want to improve. Why don't we try a fascial stretch? And that's sort of the gateway to trying it with them. And with all of those patients, I don't think I've ever had any unsuccessful stories. been all possible.
So are you the only guy or only FST practitioner in your clinic?
Yes, at that location, I'm the only one.
Okay, cool.
So it's to really set that standard for the clinic, but also get for myself.
Nice. So now that you have some sessions underneath you, are you gonna recommend to other people within your clinic or outside of your clinic?
Yep, absolutely. Still, I do have a lot of friends from Southern Shan, where I went to school, who I want to do some sessions with, just so I can keep practicing, and just so that they can actually feel the benefits of fascial stretch therapy themselves. Yeah.
Well, dude, that's awesome. I really want to, I guess, close off by letting people know who are listening. Stretch to Win Institute, founded by Chris and Ann Frederick. They've had, they have experience of over 25 years doing this, and they are the originators of fascial stretch therapy. So they, I guess, for my story is that Stretch to Win, hands down, has the best teachers, instructors. The course is very simple. It's easy for someone like me who has no medical background to understand how fascia works, and this can be done, and everyone needs this. At least try it once. And it's great that when we went to the course, we were able to learn about it and apply it, and also become the client, sitting down and feel it, so that we know what stretch and where we're feeling it. Because like you're saying, that mind body connection, it's so huge for people when they're on the table. They need to know where that's being released, whether if it's emotionally, physically, something. It's being released. It's coming out from us using our hands, and it's something that I feel like has a very high rate of return on investment as well. So look at stretchtowin.com if you are interested in applying to be a fascia stretch therapy practitioner. But Neil, to close off, can you please share with the audience how people can follow you and learn more about what you're doing there at your clinic? So go ahead.
Totally. So you could visit the main clinic that I work at therapeuticstreams.com. You can also send me a DM on Instagram at Neil.Dacanay, and that information will be there as well. Or you can also send me an email at info@neilrmt.com.
Perfect. So, dude, thank you so much for coming on to this podcast episode. Hopefully, it wasn't too much of your time or too much that you could do, but I had fun. This is a great conversation. It's pretty easy. But like, I love learning, listening from other practitioners like yourself, seeing what you're doing, because it motivates me, helps me to stay in tune that what I'm doing is helpful. It's beneficial for people. So thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for sharing your background, because I get to more also learn about you and other people that I'm interviewing. So thank you, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, that concludes it. So yes, I guess that'll be it. I don't really have